And I'll continue reading from Tony Bobulinski's report, which says, and I quote Bobulinski, Hunter Biden and James Biden did not receive compensation because Joe Biden was still vice president during this time period. There is a concern it would be improper for payments to be made to Hunter Biden and James Biden by CEFC due to its close affiliation with the Chinese government. Hunter Biden and James Biden both wanted to be compensated for the assistance they had provided to CEFC's ventures. In particular, they believed CEFC owed them money for the benefits that accrued to CEFC through its use of the Biden family name to advance their business dealings. The Bidens, coincidentally, were paid over $1 million by CCP-affiliated Chinese company CEFC shortly after Joe Biden left office as vice president. Now we know why, because it was back pay. I'm going to show another image. This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Gong Wendong, an agent of CEFC. Hunter says, my uncle will be here with his brother, in all caps, who would like to say hello to the chairman. He goes on, Jim's brother, if he's coming, wants to say hello. His uncle's brother. I wonder who that could be. I can't quite figure it out. Hunter puts brother in all caps, and it doesn't take a genius to figure this out, but since I'm not always dealing with geniuses, and Washington, D.C. has been illustrated today, I'll spell it out. The brother of Hunter's uncle, Jim, is Joe Biden. Why was Hunter so secretive about his father? I'm going to tell you why. It's because Joe Biden didn't want the American people to know he and his family were getting paid millions and millions of dollars from a company closely tied to the Chinese Communist Party. CEFC knew paying Biden family members was bad, so they covered it up. Hunter knew Joe Biden hanging out with CCP businessmen would be a bad look, so he tried to pull a genius move on us with this whole my uncle's brother bullshit. We already know the president took bribes from Burisma. I also want to add, betraying your country is treason. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record this text message between Hunter Biden and Gong Wendong and the FBI memo regarding their interview with Tony Bobulinski, showing Joe Biden's connections to CFC during his vice presidency.
Without objection, so ordered.
Professor Turley, we got 30 seconds. In your experience in reviewing cases of fraud, do people who are conducting legitimate business usually go through these efforts and hoops to keep their foreign entanglements hidden?
Yes, the issue with influence peddling is that it can, in some circumstances, be legal, but it's not something that necessarily is made public. The public does not buy into the idea that you can sell your family brand if it's influence peddling. So what happens with influence peddling is that you often have the commission of crimes that conceal it, and to take steps so that it's not public. That may include, but it's not necessarily the reason in this case, but it may include the failure to pay taxes, the failure to register as a foreign agent. And part of the purpose of an inquiry is to see if there is a linkage between those acts and, more importantly, a linkage to the president. Can I briefly respond to the earlier attack? You may have additional questions. I don't want to take your time.
Mr. Chairman.
What more do we need to see? Do we need to see like a pallet of cash going from Joe to Hunter? We have Tony Bobulinski. We have whistleblowers. We have Devin Archer. We have Hunter Biden's laptop. We have so many pieces of evidence that show just how corrupt and criminal the Biden family truly is. And it's just so hard to watch and stomach the way that if you're a Democrat or you're a Biden, you're treated, or if you're a Republican and a Trump, you're treated. The most recent ruling in New York is just so deeply upsetting for the Trump family, and you can just tell that these are political prosecutions. And Hunter failed to pay his taxes, but of course, those attorneys let the statute of limitations run out in the felony charges. The only thing they got Hunter on is the gun case and the gun charges. Do you know why? Because these are the only charges that don't tie Hunter to Joe. Okay? Hunter and Joe and the whole Biden family have been on the take. Joe's been in Washington for 50 years. Politics isn't supposed to be as lucrative as it is. He's got a beautiful beach house, multi-million-dollar house in Delaware. These people are rich. And you know how they're getting rich? The family name, influence peddling, working with places like Communist China, Ukraine, Why on earth are these people not behind bars? And we heard that whistleblower testimony, as I alluded to earlier. These people weren't fist-banging Republicans. They were within the IRS and saw things that were absolutely wrong and treating Hunter differently than you would treat anyone else. Meanwhile, you and I can't even put more than $600 through a Venmo transaction without being audited. It's sick and it's unfair, and I just pray that the American people have had enough.